illegal ham in the face. But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, big fella?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, brother?
Oh, fantastic. I tell you, a beautiful day here in Cleveland.
It is fall-like weather outside. I am loving it. It is football weather outside, Bri.
Yup. Got in the mood when I woke up this morning. It felt great.
All right. So, Bri, you have our show tonight. Do you want to run through what we're going to be talking about tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll do our normal shout-outs, and then we'll get into the game from this past week against the Rams. We'll talk about the final roster cut down. The big news being Kenny Pickett getting shipped out, not taking 4 quarterbacks. Also came down a couple hours ago, cutting ties with Dustin Hopkins. And so I don't know if we're looking for a new kicker or we got a new kicker, but we'll get into that. And then we're going to talk, if you want to talk Guardians, we can talk. If you want maybe the final, we can talk them all year, but it sounds like they're kind of struggling. So if you want to get into that, we can. If you want to talk the big college football slate coming up, I don't mind if you want to get into that. And then after that, I wanted to do the quarterback tiers. We've done it the last couple of years. I always enjoy, I'm a list guy, so I always enjoy going through that exercise and kind of having that back and forth with you and just how we see things. And a lot of times it's different. So we're going to do that and then maybe finish with a little Fat Boy Tuesday, doing some ice cream novelties if we got time for that. So doing that. And then the top 3, I was going to tell you it's almost like a top 9 because I want your rankings for the Cleveland sports teams as far as head coach 1 to 3, front office 1 to 3, and then ownership 1 to 3 for the Guards, Browns, and Cavs.
Currently?
Yep, currently.
Okay.
Current regimes.
All right, I like it. Bri, I saw you had some playing cards there. I have a list.
I do.
Hold on,
okay.
Take a look at this guy. I got a list randomizer of our team.
Even better. Okay.
We'll have to pick a number, so we'll do that real quick after the shout-outs. Bri, you got your shout-outs tonight?
The only shout-outs I can think of is I saw a lot of good people this past weekend. My wife and I went down to Tennessee to visit one of her good friends. So we were in the Knoxville area. I went to Pigeon Forge. Got to go to some pretty cool places. Went on a couple of these Alpine coasters, roller coasters. Have you ever heard of those?
Mm-mm.
It's like a single person, basically like a little cart. And it's basically a roller coaster. It takes you up into the mountains, and then you're just by yourself on your own little cart, and you go down basically a roller coaster track. And so that was a lot of fun. Had a great time doing that. Went out to some very cool places in Knoxville. Got to see the Neyland Stadium, which was kind of cool. I had my wife take a picture of it. And then visiting with a couple of my cousins, Carly, Betsy. Got to see Matt, Betsy's husband, stayed with them. They got to see Madison, and then on the way back, we saw my wife's cousin, Justine. So it was a great weekend for me. Then finished it off with the Tailgaters live fantasy football draft on Sunday night. So got to see Mark and Nick and Zima. They were all kind of talking about, hey, when are you having us on the podcast? So we'll have to work something out there.
All right, that's not a problem.
Except
know that.
Zima's a big Michigan fan, so I don't know if you want him on.
Well, the great thing is that as me being the producer behind the scenes, Bry, I get to mute whoever I want to mute. So it kind of
That's
works.
true.
I'm kind of like Ohio State kicking Dave Portnoy out of the shoe.
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something stupid. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, or maybe they like it because everyone's going to be tuning in to see Lee Corso's final College Game Day, so maybe they're trying to steal some viewership back to Fox pregame. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's the only thing I can think of too. It's just, I know he's a huge Michigan guy. It doesn't bother me.
Good for the rivalry.
All right, Brian, you ready to decide the fate of the illegal hand to the face fantasy football draft?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got all the list of the names here, Bry. Explain what the wrinkle is. I tried to explain it to everybody through via text message. So we're going to have 2 tight ends, 2 flexes.
Your starting lineup's going to be 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 2 flexes, and which can be anything other than a quarterback. It could be tight end.
So it's not a super
running back, receiver. Yeah, correct. And then just 1 kicker. We're doing away with defenses. I don't think there's too much variance. It's all about luck a lot of times with defenses. So get them out of there. No defense, but keeping the kicker.
Okay, and point system is still the same?
The point system is kind of talked last week, and I made it official. It's your basic PPR. The difference is interceptions for quarterbacks. Well, for anybody who throws an interception is going to be -6 points instead of your standard -2. The other big one is tight ends get 2 points per reception. So that kind of is a game changer when you're looking at tight ends and gives them a little more value. So that's why having starting 2 tight ends, usually it's hard to find 1 tight end that you can trust, but hopefully there'll be 2 tight ends that you feel pretty good about every single week. So yeah, those are the 2 main scoring changes. I'm trying to think if I really did anything else. Not really. I think those are the 2 big ones. So I'll keep you updated, but yeah, as of now, I'm not touching it. I'm not making any more changes. We're going with that. I think I just wanted to maybe remind you about the 2 tight ends you start and the 2 flexes that you start.
Okay. What's going on, Paulie? Nice to see you, brother.
Paulie, what's up, brother?
All right. So, Bry, I need you to pick a number between 1 and 10.
Lucky 7.
Lucky number 7. All right. You can see the randomized list. I am at the top. Justin is at the bottom. And then we have filled in everybody in between. This is randomized. So we're going to do it 7 times. So first click. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here's the final time. You ready, Bry?
Can't wait.
Number 7. I call BS. We might go 8.
Why? I can't see. It's too small.
Number 1 pick is Big Bry.
Oh, is that right? Oh, boy. All right.
Number 2 pick is Justin.
Okay.
Number 3 is Mark. Number 4 is Big Boy Phillips. Number 5 is Harold APA.
Uh-huh.
Number 6 is Joe Bear.
There you go, Joe.
Number 7 is Big Man. Number 8 is Craig. Number 9 is Nick. Number 10 is Chris. Number 11 is Fatty.
Oh, 11. All right, who's pulling up the rear?
Number 12 is Miss Lauren.
Oh, sorry, Lauren. That couldn't have worked out much better for me, much worse for you.
That's all right. Did you write them all down?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
No,
I was just-
no, you're fine. I'll leave.
I'll go back. I'll go back and I'll watch the video.
No, it's all right. I got the list saved right here, so we'll catch it at the end. Okay.
All right. Cool.
All right. So 8 p.m. Thursday night, we're going to be doing a draft. We might be doing a live illegal ham to the face draft. See how many people went in on it. Brian, I know you can't make it. I talked to Justin. Justin might be able to make it. Big Man might be able to make it. So we'll see
Cool.
what we do there. Might do a
Absolutely.
live draft and talk some shit between all of us. Uncensored, unfiltered here on the Illegal Ham to the Face Fantasy Football League.
Sure.
All right. Brian, let's get into it. We got trivia, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland, which it is National Dog Day today.
Oh, is that right?
It is. And we love our city dogs, but if you can go adopt a dog, go help out a furry friend or four-legged friends. Help them out. Their shelter's full all around. If you can, please go adopt one. If you can, we prefer it be City Dogs Cleveland. But if you cannot do City Dogs Cleveland, there's other great shelters here in the Cleveland area where you can adopt a dog. But we prefer City Dogs Cleveland because they're near and dear to our heart. And if you can't adopt, please volunteer and donate. Whatever you can do to help out a four-legged friend coming up. Brian, we do have, I thought I had pictures here. Yeah, we still have pictures of the longest kennel resident at City Dogs Cleveland. This beautiful puppy right here. And their kennel is full, so there's plenty more. So please go help out a city dog. All right, Brian, we'll play the sounder and then the trivia. And is it National Taco Day today? As my voice just cracked.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, I guess you sounded excited, so hopefully for your sake it is.
Well, Justin said it was, but Justin's like 50-50 sometimes. We need a we need a Justin Fail sign up here too.
So is it National Hot Dog Day then also?
Well, that technically a hot dog is a taco, so hit puberty lately. Thanks, Justin. All right, here we go with the trivia sounder. All right, Big Bri, it's your turn for trivia. What we got tonight?
Well, we got some Cleveland Browns trivia, as you can imagine. And this one comes courtesy of Nick on Sunday. Asked me about it, and I looked it up, and there's a little discrepancy. We'll get to that maybe later in the show. But in order to take that uncertainty out of it, I'm going to just go back to 1999. Because there's maybe one or two guys that had more before 99. But since 99, who is the all-time leading tackler for your Cleveland Browns? Most tackles since 99. In a career, not one season.
Okay, in a career. Okay. And Justin specified here. I didn't say it was National Taco Day. You said National Dog Day. I asked if it was Taco Day too.
I see where. Okay, well done.
Yeah, all right.
Also got us a little excited.
Most tackles since 99.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll think on it. All right, let's hit the Cleveland headlines. And boy, do we have a lot of headlines to get into. I'm sorry, I was just jamming out to the music background. All right, Brian, first off, on your Cleveland headlines, we will talk a little bit of guards because they're dead and buried. You might as well just stick a fork in them. They're done like a roast. God, Brian, this is the worst slide since the 10-game losing streak. We had hope that they were going to do anything. Mike Voorhees from the Cleveland MLB Cleveland Guard Cash chimed in here. They did waive Carlos Santana today.
Yeah, I heard that.
So
strange move. Are they waving the white flag with that move then?
Brian, they should have. I love Carlos, don't get me wrong, but he shouldn't have been on this roster to begin with. You have way too many young guys that you need to see, and he's just filling up a spot for some odd reason. Like, you got too many guys at first base that need first base reps. You know, you got Kafis that can play first base. You got Manzardo that can play first base. You got, it seemed weird that where they were after the 10-game losing streak, that Santana, and it seemed weird to keep him on at the trade deadline. I figured he would have been gone at the trade deadline, but some other people chimed to me, and I respect their opinion. They thought that was a Jose move. Jose said, yeah, you could trade people, but Santana's my guy, and you're not trading him. And
sure,
I kind of agree with them on that. But, yeah, it's just, Bybee has not been the same person. He's got like a 7 ERA since the beginning of July. Our offense is just putrid again. Like, we can't hit the ball. Our fielding is even worse right now because we're just making stupid defensive mistakes. And it's just, I think just this year has finally just come to a head. And even like Bybee last night, did you see him diving into the dugout yelling at everybody?
I heard about it. I haven't seen the clip yet. Was he just a madman just screaming?
Well, it was right after the botch play where they scored some runs, and he kind of came in. Everybody said he was trying to fire up the team. No, he came in, he was pissed off, and he was cussing at people as he came into that dugout. What was great, though, was watching Vogt follow right behind him. You remember when Tito went out to the mound when somebody threw a certain baseball over the center field and just looked at him like, what the F are you doing? That's pretty much what Vogt did to him and said, you get the F out of here, and sent him back into the locker room. So tensions are high, and Brian, when tensions are high, especially in baseball like that, and you're struggling, and it's just not good. It's just not good all around. So that's all I got for the Guardians until they start winning again, Brian. It's just, I don't think they're making the playoffs. You and I both said that we thought they would be around 500 this year, and Brian, the way they're going right now, they're lucky to be at 500. So we'll see. We'll see. Chris is here, said Cleveland headlines beat hard. All right, let's get off to the Guards and let's get into the biggest news that we got going on right now. It is cut down day. The 53-man roster is set. Bry, you mentioned it. We traded a 5th rounder to get Kenny Pickett, and then we traded Kenny Pickett for a 5th rounder to Las Vegas. Bry, what the hell was this whole situation in the quarterback room?
I kind of mentioned it last week. I think it was maybe not a desperation move, but it was just a forward-thinking move to get Kenny Pickett when you didn't have any sure thing on your roster, and now that we have a quarterback that has kind of separated himself just basically by being healthy and resting on his laurels, there's a significant gap now between Joe Flacco and the rest of the quarterbacks. But I mentioned last week I didn't think Andrew Berry was going to trade Pickett because I didn't think his ego would allow it. And I think had he only been offered a 6th-round pick, he wouldn't have done it. As if there's some difference in Andrew Berry's mind between a 5th and a 6th-rounder. It's all basically the same. But in his mind, he would have lost out on the Kenny Pickett sweepstakes. So the fact that, let's be honest, the Raiders were dumb enough to offer him a 5th-round pick, I mean, you had to jump on that. Considering you got 3 guys that you would kind of like to see this year. Flacco being the guy who kind of gives us hope and gives our veterans hope. And then the 2 rookies, you're about to invest a 1st-round pick into your franchise quarterback. So the least you can do is see if you have one on your roster already, even though most of us believe that's not really the case. But yeah, I think it's for a while, basically since the draft pick, it's kind of been the odd man out in most fans' minds. And a lot of that has to do with just him being from Pittsburgh and us hating on him for so long and not really believing that there was any gold in them hills. And I think yeah, let's just we're wasting our time with him. But like I said, I thought Andrew Berry's ego was going to get in the way, and they were just going to carry forward to the regular season. But thank God for the Las Vegas Raiders. I still don't understand it. Like, I know their backup went down, and it sounds like he's going to be out maybe 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. But if Geno Smith is healthy for 8 weeks and then their backup comes back, Kenny Pickett's a free agent after this year. You basically gave up a 5th round pick who might not even touch the field for you. Like, I mean, maybe they're just and they're a team. It's not like they're a team like with Super Bowl aspirations that they need a quarterback to just keep them afloat. They're probably in the same boat as the Browns, where they're looking for their quarterback in next year's draft. So makes no sense to me. But yeah, I think the Browns just got lucky that that their backup quarterback got hurt, and then B, that they were dumb enough to trade for Kenny Pickett and give up a 5th rounder for him.
Yeah, this whole scenario with the quarterback room, the way it was, I truly believe that it had to be a 2-tier competition. I really do believe that it was a competition between Flacco and Pickett for the starting job. And then after that, the pecking order with Gabriel and Sanders. Because I have a feeling that if Pickett would have won it, and hey, his not being available because of his hamstring injury hurt him. It really did. I mean, I think he would have been here on this roster if he wasn't hurt and he actually played in some of the preseason games, and they could get more of a look at him than what they did. But he got hurt, and hey, kudos, they got a 5th round pick out of him. More power to him. Hey, the way Flacco looked on Saturday looked like first 3 and out kind of scared me. I'm like, come on, this is what we're going. Like, LA just flew out 40 guys that they got from bagging groceries just to play us on Saturday, and I was like, come on. But I mean, they look good. I'm finally happy now that we have 3 quarterbacks and there's a pecking order now. There's finally a pecking order. We have a starter, we have a number 2, and we have a number 3. And we will get to number 3 a little bit later because there's going to be a fatty on fire coming out here a little bit later. But Brian, the preseason game against LA, we ended up winning. Flacco looked good. Gabriel looked good. Sanders looked horrible. Defense looked fantastic, but like I said, they only brought 40 guys to play with. What were your big takeaways from the final preseason game?
Well, I'd be lying to you if I said I watched the whole thing. I just kind of, being in Tennessee, I wasn't able to sit down and watch it. But from what I could gather based on the highlights and stuff, Flacco played pretty well. What he finished? Did he finish 9 of 10? For that touchdown to Fannin was pretty nice. So that makes you feel good. I mean, that's what you want to see out of a Joe Flacco. You want to see him come out. You want to see him look good, like you mentioned, against a team that, probably a lot of those guys aren't going to be playing on Sundays. But all the more reason that he should be looking good, that he should be going 9 of 10 to give you that confidence. So he restored the confidence in a lot of Browns fans that, hey, he can just play like this and play like the old Joe Flacco. We have a chance against the Bengals coming up here in a couple weeks. So that was takeaway number 1. Just Joe Flacco passing the test and restoring confidence in us. And then, there are a couple of rookies. I mentioned Fannin that looked pretty good. I know it's still crazy to me that we have, just the difference in philosophies between like championship teams like the Chiefs and then the Browns, who Browns are afraid to play, 5th round picks from last year. Like Thrash didn't play one preseason game. And then, we're holding out rookies that have never played in the NFL before. So I'll never understand it. To me, it's coaching scared. But then somebody like Ethan Posick goes down, and you're left wondering, what the heck are we doing? Why do we have these guys out here for a game that means absolutely nothing? But I think it sounds like he's going to be okay. So, we got through the preseason unscathed. That's a major check plus for the coaching staff and for the team. And then Gabriel looked good again. Another good, solid performance. Another passing performance. Like I said, I didn't see like every pass or anything like that, so I don't know if he looked more comfortable in the pocket. What would you say?
Yeah, he looked more comfortable in the pocket. He went 12 and 19 for 129 and a touchdown.
Okay,
so like he's
solid.
Brian, as much grief as I give him for being a shorter quarterback, and I know how well shorter quarterbacks have gone, for what he's done so far in the preseason games that I've seen, Bri, he's done okay. Like he hasn't set the world on fire, but he hasn't done anything to, set the town on, like set the trash bin on fire either. So he's been steady keel. He's been that C+, B-, B range. He's been right there, and he hasn't wavered from it from the games. So, and with him being the number 2, I kind of liked what I saw. Flacco, like you said, 9 to 10, you got to do what Flacco's got to do. I'm happy to see that, man, for 40 years old, that man can still sling a ball, Bri. Holy cow, can he still sling a ball? And seeing Harold Fanning get that touchdown pass was just, that kid's going to be special, Bri. I really do think that kid is going to be special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, I don't know if I mentioned it to you or somebody else, that I think he might be like the insurance, maybe the heir apparent to David Njoku, this being his last year. If Fannin looks good and we have him for another, 3 years after this year on a rookie third-round deal, why do we need to pay David Njoku $15, $18 million a year to give us pretty good performance? But I think me, anyways, I think Fannin could be as good as Njoku, and he's a heck of a lot cheaper. So, but then you start talking about this 2 tight end set, and how powerful would it be to have 2 of those guys that defenses fear, especially with our lack of wide receivers. So, but that's down the line. But another guy that kind of stood out to me, and I just saw, I think, snippets, plays of, I think it was Brian Baldinger focusing in on him per play. This Aiden Huntington, just, man, how he was exploding through the line and just moves that were make any defensive lineman jealous. The bend that he had on a couple of these plays to get around these guards, and I guess he was in there offensively and on special teams as well, making plays. So I was excited going back to the roster. I was excited that we kept so many young guys, so many guys that are hungry. I mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago, I didn't think they were going to keep this Gage Larvin because they haven't done it in the past. But I think it all goes into the makeup of the team, the expectations of the team, the reality. If you're going to look at it with a realistic eye, the expectations aren't what they were 2 years ago. So we can afford to keep these young guys and see if they turn into anything. That's why the Dylan Gabriel experiment reminds me a lot of the DTR experiment. But the only thing that's different is our expectations for this team are not what they were. Looking back now, DTR is our backup, a rookie 5th rounder is our backup for a team that had playoff aspirations was absurd. This team, maybe not having as high hopes, not having championship goals. If you're being real about it, I think maybe it's a little different. If we were the Bills or something, we had Dylan Gabriel as our backup, I'd be pretty worried. But as where we're at right now, it's like, okay, that's fine. Get him in there, let him go through some growing pains. Same thing with Shedeur. I want to see both of them. And it's just kind of a feeling out year for the Browns, I feel like, more or less.
Nice. Justin's got a lead on a masseuse for Thursday. That's awesome news for Justin.
Was that a Deshaun Watson joke? Do I need to drink?
It was not. No, he needs massages.
Oh.
So,
okay. I'll drink
and
anyways.
Chris chimed in and said if we have 2 tight ends that are good, it could be like Gronk and Hernandez. Hopefully one of them doesn't turn out like Hernandez. That'd be a bonus. Not gonna lie, that'd be a bonus. Brian, let's go through the initial 53 here. All right. First off, you got your 3 quarterbacks. You got Flacco, Gabriel Sanders. 2 running backs, Brian. Only Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson. We got rid of Pierre Strong and some other things. Wide receivers, there's 6. You got Bond, Carter, Judy, Larvadan, Jamari Thrash, and Cedric Tobin, which I am so happy they kept Larvadan. I love that kid. He's been playing great. 4 tight ends, Bry. 4 tight ends. You got my cousin from another cousin, Brendan Bates, Fanning, Njoku, and Blake Whiteheart. 10 offensive linemen, which they do definitely need. 10 defensive linemen, which they definitely need. 5 linebackers with 1 question mark. Devin Bush. He's still here?
What do you mean? You think you're saying he could be suspended, or?
Oh, shouldn't he be suspended?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know enough about the case. It doesn't make sense to me the way the NFL really does their business. Because I mean, unless the media and the reports are just way off.
You told me last week they do whatever they want. So
they do, and that's why it's confusing. Like right now, the expectation is that Isaiah Bond will not be suspended, but Quinshon Judkins will be suspended. And what's going on with Devin Bush? Like I don't know, any of this stuff. So I guess we'll find out for ourselves what's taking it so long on the Quinshon ruling. It's just. It kind of puts the Browns in a bad spot because there's no how do you negotiate with a guy who could potentially miss the first 6 games or for sure has brought kind of a black eye to your franchise. He's still going to be demanding, I'm guessing, guaranteed money. And you're kind of saving a spot for him, what you just told me with them only keeping 2 running backs. So
yeah, but you're really not saving it. You're not really saving a spot for him because from my understanding, Bry, if they do sign him and they bring him in, they're going to have to put him on paid leave. So at the point in time, you're bringing him in on a signed contract and you're paying him to just sit down. So at that point in time, why would you do that? So they're kind of waiting for the situation to cut.
But why would you sit him? Why would you put him on paid leave if he's not suspended? I would think if you bring him in, you just play him until they suspend him.
Yeah, but he might be put on one of the executive commissioner list, whatever that thing is.
If that's the case, then yeah, you don't have a choice. But I don't understand why the Browns would bring him in and then have a sanction themselves on this guy. And I would say if you bring him in, you just play him until the NFL tells you you can't. And I believe if he's on the commissioner's exempt list, you don't have to pay him. But I don't know. That's a lot of semantics.
That's stuff that's over our head.
I would say just get him in here and then force the NFL, because I feel like the NFL is like, oh, well, he's not even signed yet, so we don't have to make a ruling on this guy. So they're just going to kick the can down the road until he's an actual NFL employee, which he's not right now. So yeah, it's a muddy, messy, disgusting, yucky situation, and nobody really wins, but let's get on with it here.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have 10 defensive backs, which is fine. Chris chimed in if we're.
Go ahead with what Chris says.
No, Chris said if we end up bringing Judkins in, who gets dropped, it would probably be one of the either A, offensive linemen, or B, probably one of the defensive backs, I would guess. It would probably be one where they had the most at. So it'd be defensive front, offensive front, or secondary. They would probably drop one to bring in Quinshon Judkins. They probably wouldn't drop anybody else. All right, now go ahead with what you were wanting to say.
I was just going to ask if you have the list in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind running down the linebackers and the defensive backs? Because those are the 2 positions I'm kind of unclear about.
All right, so linebackers, there are 5. Jerome Baker, Devin Bush, Diabate, Easton, Macarenas, Arnold, and Carson Schlesinger.
I don't even know who that guy is. Easton,
it looks like Macarena, but it's not Macarena.
I've
Macarena
never heard of him.
Arnold.
Did
I
you?
never
Did
even heard-
you didn't notice him in the
But I don't pay attention to
preseason
linebackers.
at all?
I don't pay
Well, yeah,
attention.
I didn't either. So
And then
news to me.
defensive backs are Grant Delpit, Miles Harden, Ronnie Hickman, Jenkins, Dom Jones, DeMonte Kaze,
Oh, yeah.
Donovan McMillan, Cameron Mitchell, Greg Newsom II, and Denzel Ward.
There's a few guys that, even being a diehard Browns fan, I haven't really heard of. This Dom Jones, I heard about him a little bit. I think he's a undrafted free agent, but yeah, if we start incurring some injuries in the linebacking room and the defensive backs, it's not going to be great.
Oh, we got some breaking news here. That's nice. Broncos have released Sam Ellinger. That's great. Great for them. Good for them. Bri, the other thing that happened, which you and I talked about, Dustin Hopkins has been on kind of shaky ground from last year into this preseason. Bri, they let him go, which I didn't think they would do because they signed him to a 3-year contract. And I can't even pronounce this guy's last name. I think it's Schmidt, but I'm not 100% sure. Andre Schmidt, and it's SZMYT. If that doesn't sound like a Cleveland Browns name, I don't know what does.
Go out, if you're a Browns fan, go out and get his jersey tonight, because that's probably going to be the most obscure NFL Browns jersey that you could possibly wear, I would think.
Really?
Who knows if he ever plays whoever knows that he might never play a game for the Browns. They might bring in somebody that was cut today.
Yeah, it is true.
That's what we did with Hopkins, if you remember.
Yeah.
I mean, Hopkins got cut, so there's like veterans out there.
Well, didn't
that
they
have
bring in
kicked in the league.
Didn't they bring in Hopkins to go against oh God, the kid from I can't think of his name. He's playing for somewhere. Gade York, yes.
Well, they cut Cade York and they brought in Hopkins because Hopkins got cut by the Chargers. And then he had one of the best kicking seasons, maybe the best kicking season the Browns kickers ever had. And that includes Phil Dawson. He was just on fire. He was like, was he 8 for 10 or was he 10 for 10 from 50-plus yards?
Which is crazy because his normal
game-winning field goals?
Yeah, his normal stats were he's only like 45-50% from 50-yard out. And
That
1 year.
Magical.
Contract year. Look what happens, buddy. Look what happens.
He got paid. Good for him. I don't feel bad for him.
All right, Brian, can I get Fatty's on fire before we get to our
let's hear it. Absolutely.
Before we get to our quarterback tiers? For all of you out there, hold on, let me take a little. For all of you out there that are saying that this organization is sabotaging Shedeur Sanders, that this organization is racist towards Shedeur Sanders, that this organization has done wrong by Shedeur Sanders, you guys just need to stop. Just stop. Just stop. Maybe the kid isn't good enough. Maybe not. But the one thing I can tell you, of all teams that are desperate for a fucking quarterback like the Browns aren't going to sabotage a freaking quarterback. We've been looking for a quarterback for 30 years. What makes you think that we're going to sabotage a guy that's playing quarterback for our team? What is going on? I've seen the reports. I've heard everybody talk about it. It has been nonstop Shedeur talk ever since he got here. And that's fine. He's third string right now. Let him work his way up. Let him figure out whatever he's going to do. But don't say here saying that the team that is most desperate for a quarterback and has been most desperate for 30 years is sabotaging him. Okay, now I feel better.
Well, the only thing I'll say to that is the people that truly feel that way are delusional.
It just drives me nuts, Bri. Like every time I turn around, whether it be on 92.3 The Fan, ESPN 850 Cleveland, whether it be other podcasts, whether it be anywhere else, other national people just chiming in their 2 cents of what's going on here. What, because his daddy's Deion Sanders? He deserves to be second string? Like, what the hell is going on here? Did you not see him on Saturday like I saw him? He got sacked more times than he did completions. And don't sit there and tell me, well, it's because he had the third string offensive line. Well, guess what? It's a third string defensive line coming at him. Come on. Come on.
The reason I believe that they are delusional is, and maybe delusional is a bit strong, but the reason they feel the way they do is because they view him as a first round pick. And so they say, in their mind, Shador is a first round pick. How are you going to have a first round pick behind a third round pick? That doesn't make sense. So then their head, he's a first round pick. Mel Kiper said he's the best quarterback in the draft. He's the best quarterback in the draft. But in reality, he's a fifth round pick. And so they can't come to grips with that new reality that a third round pick is always going to be ahead of a fifth round pick, at least in the first preseason training camp. So, but they view him as a first round pick. And so that's why they feel the way they feel. And if he was the number 2 overall pick and they were treating him the way they're treating him, maybe I would agree with them. It's a lot to assume that somebody's racist or assume somebody's getting treated a certain way because of this or because of that. But yeah, something would be fishy if he was their number 2 overall pick and we were treating him this way. But he's not. He's our fifth round pick and we're treating him like a fifth round pick. So yeah, people just can't get that through their head. So I don't know. But speaking to his play from Saturday, yeah, he's just the plays that I saw. He's trying to be Patrick Mahomes. He's trying to keep these plays alive. He's turning his back to the line of scrimmage. He's trying to run away from these guys, and it's just not going to work. He's going to have to get that through his head that he can't do that. He has to be great at football in the NFL before he can start taking liberties like that. Because if he starts running around like that and running backwards 10 yards, 15 yards, turning your back to the play, yeah, he'll be out of the league before you can sneeze. So he's got to get that through his head. And I don't know if that's a maturity thing. I don't know if that's a growth thing. But yeah, somebody has to get it. And it's going to take him time because that's his natural instinct. When you see a guy coming, and these aren't even starters in the NFL, like, somebody like Von Miller, he's going to have him sacked in half the time that some of these backups are sacking him. So he's going to have to get it through his head and get comfortable with the pressure from these defensive linemen. And what can I do? I can't turn my back to them and try to run away from them because they will track me down every single time. Or I'm going to turn the ball over or something bad is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So he has to get that through his head first and foremost. And then after that, then he can start building on, his in-game reps and what do I do if that happens rather than turn my back. What can I do, to kind of break that bad habit?
Yeah, and the other thing is like you said, you got to step up in the pocket, Brian. It's the NFL. If you step up in the pocket and you slide around in the pocket, it just seems like everything that he wants to do, he wants to dump out of there and dump backwards quicker than anything. And then everybody brought up the whole 2-minute deal with when they put in Tyler Huntley. And why didn't you give Shador that? Yeah, I would have loved to see them give Shador that opportunity with 2 minutes left and let him try to work it out. But guys, the man's coming off of an oblique injury that kept him out for a game. Okay. Also, he just got sacked 6 times. At that point in time, if I was the coach too, I'd have been like, all right, dude, obviously this isn't working. I don't want to get you hurt. So here's what we're going to do. You're making the roster, obviously. Let me put the guy out here that's not going to make the roster to get his head kicked in so that you don't get hurt and we don't walk away from this with more crap going on than what it is. I just, the Shador hype and everything else, Brian, I want the kids to succeed. I want all of our quarterbacks to succeed. I do. But the narrative that is coming out about this guy because of his national glow from everybody because it's Dion's son, because he's supposed to do this. He did this in Colorado. He did this here. He did this here. It's not the NFL. He might be behind, guys. He might be behind. Can we just come to terms with he might not be picking up the defense as well as Dylan Gabriel? And seeing the game film and the game tape as Dylan Gabriel is right now? Can we can that actually happen? Or are we just throwing that out the window and just saying, well, it's because it's Shedeur Sanders. He knows everything and he should be getting first team reps and should start.
Well said. Yeah, I've said my piece on the Shedeur stuff. I don't know when it'll kind of bump back up and rear its ugly head again. But I'm sure as soon as the Browns start struggling, if we have a couple losses in a row, people are going to be wanting to see Shedeur. But I think people are also kind of coming to the realization that that Dylan Gabriel is going to get the first opportunity, and then after that, hopefully we see Shedeur at some point. But yeah, I mean, right now, anybody not named Joe Flacco, I don't feel great about playing against, even though they've looked.
I don't even feel great about Joe
decent.
Flacco.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't feel great about him or anything like that, as we're about to get to with our quarterback.
Let's do our quarterback tiers.
Rank.
Let's do it.
Yeah, where's Flacco? All right, go ahead.
All right, let's do our quarterback tiers, bud.
Yep.
You start them out. What are we doing here? How are we doing them? How are we ranking?
I'll give. So I got tiers. I got tiers. I got rankings. So I'll give you my first tier, and then you can give me your first tier, and then we'll go on from there. That's cool.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right. First tier, probably the easiest for me to rank because I feel good about these four guys being above anybody else in the league. Unfortunately for the Browns, they all play in the AFC. So I got Mahomes 1, Lamar 2, Josh Allen 3, Joe Burrow 4. I feel like that's pretty standard for what most people would consider elite.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got for your first tier?
So obviously Patrick Mahomes is first until he gets kind of kicked off that bump. I'm going to go Joe Burrow second.
Okay.
The only reason why, Brian, is what he did at the end of last year. He showed you what he can do, but it's also nice having Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to throw to. After that, Lamar Jackson, and then Josh Allen, and that would be my top tier.
Yep, I don't have a problem with it. I think a lot of people would agree with both of us that that Mahomes is 1, and those 4 guys are the top 4, and then there's some separation. So if you want to, you can start us off for tier 2.
Yes. So tier 2 comes in as soon as I pull up my little list. Tier 2, I got Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Because he has got a Super Bowl. Can't deny a guy that's won a Super Bowl. I think Jaden Daniels has put himself up in tier 2 now. All right. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
After him, Brian, it's hard for me after him because everybody else I have like elite of elite, and I have elite good, and then I have what everything else is. And I think those.
So is that your tier? Are you cutting them off after 2 guys? That's your tier 2?
I think I am, because I think after those 2 guys, I believe there is more of a drop off than what we want to think there is.
Okay. Well, you got the top guy I have at tier 2 and the bottom guy I have at tier 2. So I'm with you. I think Jalen Hurts, you have to have him. I don't know if you have to, but we as a society, as NFL fans, we kind of tiptoe around, is wins a quarterback stat? Is it not? But I think, and another thing that I had difficulties a little bit was with this list was deciding how much emphasis do I put on just last year and how much do I put on their career up to this point? Because that's kind of, if we were just basing it off of last year, maybe I'd have Lamar number 1, but you have to take into account what Mahomes has done his entire career and just how dominant he's been. So, yeah, having a Super Bowl, coming off a Super Bowl, he's gone toe to toe with Mahomes. Well, he blew out Mahomes last year, but he went toe to toe with him a couple years ago. So, yeah, I feel comfortable with Jalen Hurts. I think because he has so many great players around him, he maybe gets disrespected a little bit. So, Hurts is 5. I got Jared Goff at 6.
Okay.
Another guy I think has just been disrespected a lot, so much so that he was traded away from Los Angeles. And he's had success with 2 separate teams, so can't just beat everybody else around him. He's got to be pretty good. So I got Goff at 6. I got Stafford at 7. He's getting older, but his run in the playoffs, to the playoffs, and then in the playoffs kind of lets you know he still has it as long as he's healthy. Then I got Justin Herbert 8. I think he's maybe lacking in team success, but he still has all the tools that you're looking for in a quarterback. I think him playing in the AFC, him playing in Mahomes' division, kind of hurts him. If he was in the NFC or AFC South, I think people would give him a lot more respect. And then my number 9 is Jaden Daniels. A guy who had a great first year, but it's hard for me to buy in on a guy. And I said this maybe last year, 2 years ago, whenever it was with CJ Stroud, when he had his rookie year. Like, allow coaches to have an off season to adjust to you, and then let's see how well you adjust to the adjustment. So, he was great. He was probably borderline top 5 guy last year, and taking his team to the conference championship was certainly impressive. But I can't put you super high unless you win the Super Bowl. I can't put you super high after 1 year.
Okay,
so that's my tier 2.
Okay, do you want me to do tier 3?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so tier 3 for me is guys that are going to win for you. Now, not going to win all the time, but they're going to win for you. So tier 3, I got Kyler Murray, and there's no ranking.
Whoa! Wow!
Hold on, just hear me out. I think that he can actually win you games at Arizona. I got Kyler Murray. Calm down. Okay.
No, I'm listening to that. I like the different perspective.
All right. Next up, I have Jared Goff in that list. I have Jordan Love in that list.
Mm-hmm.
I have CJ Stroud in that list. I have Baker Mayfield in that list. I have Justin Herbert in that list.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. Let me double check. Still questionable, still questionable, still questionable, still questionable, still questionable, still questionable. Still, yeah. Dak Prescott, I might put in that list. The only hiccup I have with Dak is he's injured. All right. Now, Brian, we have seen the reason why I picked Kyler Murray is we have seen Kyler Murray actually be good and light it up, have we not?
He has in the regular at spurts for 4 or 6 game stretch in the regular season. We've not seen him do it in the playoffs. I don't believe.
I think he could win you games. The way I have my tiers, Brian, is I have elite of elite. I have second elite. I have guys that are going to win you games and possibly get you to playoffs, which all those guys are. And then I have everything else that's left over. And it's not everything else that's left over. It's question marks after that. But at least with Kyler Murray, yeah, he's your starting quarterback there in Arizona. There's no question mark about that. Is he going to win you games? Yeah, he's going to win you games. Is he going to give you 12 wins? Probably not. But he's going to give you some big marquee games.
One name that I'm just confirming that you don't have, maybe you forgot about him, Stafford. Do you have Stafford in that list, or is he the next year down?
Stafford is the next one down.
Gotcha. Okay. Is that it, or do you have anybody else in that tier?
That's it in that tier.
All right. I got my tier 3 starting with Brock Purdy. Kind of along the same lines of Jalen Hurts. People want to give credit to everyone around him, but you're not that good. You don't have that much team success if your quarterback is a dud, and he's all he does since he got into the league is win games. So I got Purdy at 10. I'm with you. You got a objection to Purdy?
No, I might need to put Purdy in there that can win you games. I forgot about him.
Okay.
Add him to my other one. I'm sorry.
Add him to your tier 3.
Yes.
I'm with you with Dak Prescott. It's always kind of trendy to hate on the Cowboy guys, and I get it. And I get people are sick and tired of hearing about the Cowboys, but yeah, he was hurt last year. He wasn't great for 6 or 7 games before his injury.
Mm-hmm.
But I think back to 2 years ago when he was in the MVP conversation. So I think people think about what happened last year. What happened last year? He didn't play half the game, so he's pretty good if he's healthy. I have him as my 11th best quarterback. Then 12, I have C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
Just had still limited sample size. Great year 1, pretty good year 2. Been in the playoffs 2 years, so feel comfortable with him at 12. Then I got Baker at 13. He's kind of up and down. Last year he was great. He was probably a borderline top 10 quarterback. But like I said before, I got to kind of have to mix in and have
it's just
an
because
opinion.
you hate Baker. It's okay.
Well, it's an opinion of his last year, and it's an opinion. You probably are about the same as I am, but I don't know. If I'm ranking him based on just last season, like I said, he's probably top 10, borderline top 10 guy. But I gotta mix in what's he done his whole career. Otherwise, it's just a yearly thing. So Baker's 13. I had Jordan Love 14. Still kind of waiting on him. Everyone talks about how great he is, and he's pretty good. But he still hasn't really popped in the playoffs. So Jordan Love 14. I got 2 of 15. I think when he's healthy, he's pretty good. He's incredibly accurate. That offense in Miami gets humming sometimes. And so I feel comfortable with him at 15. And they get Aaron Rodgers at 16. And that's the end of my tier 3.
Okay. So timeout here. We're going to do a 30-second timeout because I have a question for you. All right. Now that Baker has matured and has grown up, Bri, would you want Baker Mayfield on this Cleveland Browns team?
No, I wouldn't.
Come on.
But don't take that as Baker hate. Baker Mayfield would be the best quarterback on the Browns. He would be better than Deshaun Watson ever was for the Browns. My issue with Baker Mayfield was always he's not good enough to beat Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes consistently. So if he's not doing, then we're just stuck in purgatory. Now, for some Browns fans, making the wild card every year for a 5-year stretch, they're going to take it. But for me, I'm just, I want, because it's never happened. Right. And I understand that. And I said when we had him, if that's your goal, then sure, keep running Baker Mayfield out there. He's going to give you a chance. He's going to keep you in the mix for the playoffs pretty much every year. And I even believe that, even though I kind of dogged at him a little bit for his competition in his division last week, even in the AFC North, I think he would have you competitive and he would have you in the hunt for the playoffs every year. You probably wouldn't make the playoffs every year, but you're probably going to make the playoffs 2 or 3 years out of every 5 years. And maybe you win a playoff game. But again, my goal is not to be good enough, be the 12th best team in the NFL. My goal is to win a championship. And unless I think you can do that, we're just kind of spinning our wheels here. So that's why I was fine with the trade for Watson. If we got the Houston Watson, I think that puts us in the conversation with these other teams. But it went the exact opposite way, and it completely blew up in our face.
But the great thing is the words that you said, it is your belief and your It's what the Cleveland Browns want. And I think if they could actually redo everything and with a mature Baker Mayfield, not what we had when he was here, I think they would take this in spades. I think they would take him all day and take the 5 wild cards as a team. Because guess what? You just said it. I know the goal is to get to the Super Bowl, but Brian, we haven't even sniffed the playoffs. We got 2 playoff appearances, 3 playoff appearances in 25 years, while other teams have multiple been to the playoffs. Brian, once you get to the playoffs, there's a chance for everything. You just got to get there.
Yeah, I feel like that's maybe more of a baseball saying. I feel like the cream rises to the top in the NFL. Like Patrick Mahomes is going to be there at the end. Lamar Jackson is going to be there in the end every year. Josh Allen's going to be there at the end every year, and they have been. But also, there's no guarantee that Baker Mayfield was going to mature in Cleveland. How much damage was done in that locker room? Could he have mended those fences? Could he have matured the way that he has without going through being cut by the Browns, essentially, being cut by Carolina, essentially, being cut by the Rams, essentially, going to a great Super Bowl culture that Tom Brady built down there when he retired and walking into that with, veterans all around you? I don't know if that would have happened in Cleveland.
And just as said, like in poker, if you have a chip, you have a prayer.
Sure. Yeah. And, I'm not saying Baker Mayfield couldn't have got you there beyond a shadow of a doubt. Crazy things happen. Patrick Mahomes got hurt in the second half of the Kansas City game against us. And that was our opportunity, I feel like. How often is that guy going to get hurt in that game where you have to play? You can play Chad Henne in the second half. And so that's kind of when it started with me, was like,
but the bad thing is,
Patrick Mahomes beat us, and he only had to play a half of football.
But also, that was your defense that lost us that game because
Baker had the ball at the end. All he had to do was drive us down, 2-minute drill, and get us a score.
Okay,
like Tom Brady would, like Peyton Manning.
And also our defense, when you're at 3rd and 17 and you're letting Chad freaking Henne run on you, there's a little,
I'm not saying they're without blame, for sure.
All right, I got us.
But we had the opportunity. He had the ball in his hands to go win the game. We couldn't do it. And then starting the next year in Kansas City again, he had the ball in his hand to go win the game and prove haters like me wrong, and he couldn't do it. Could he do it today? Maybe. I don't know.
I got us off
against the Saints and the Carolina, he probably could.
All right, let's finish up the tiers. It's your turn, tier 4.
Tier 4. All right, I finished off 16, Aaron Rodgers. I got 17, tier 4, Bo Nix. 18, Drake May. 19, Geno Smith. 20, Trevor Lawrence. 21, your boy, Kyler Murray. 22, Sam Darnold. 23, Russ Wilson. 24, Caleb Williams. 25, Bryce Young. End of the tier.
Okay. So, going to go with my 4 tier. I got Michael Penix Jr. All right. I got Bryce Young. I got Caleb Williams. I got Bo Nix. This is where I have Matthew Stafford.
Oh, boy. Disrespect.
It's not disrespect, Bri. I just think his body is kind of. Have you heard him all preseason? His back is fucked up. Like,
well, that's why I'm doing the rankings based on last year and based on their career. Like, maybe not. So that's different. You're allowed to think differently than I am. You're thinking of today, August 26th. Where did I have these guys ranked? That's fine.
I have Geno Smith, Trevor Lawrence, Tua in this one. I have Drake May. I have Aaron Rodgers. And I have Sam Darnold. And these are guys that right now can win you games, but are questionable to me. And the reason why I
Sure.
say questionable is because, let's see here, Aaron Rodgers didn't go so well in the Jets. Matthew Stafford has been injured all the time. Michael Penix Jr., we saw a flash out of him. So that's how I rank those. And then, and even like Caleb Williams, Bry, I think he had a great rookie year, especially for playing for a Chicago team that is what it was. I'd like to see more. I think he could actually be better than what he was.
Sure. Yep. And then I got, so tier 5, my final tier is kind of unproven guys and guys that are kind of on their last leg.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I got my boy, top of the list, J.J. McCarthy. Michael Penix, 27. Cam Ward, 28. Then our boy, Joe Flacco, 29. Daniel Jones, I still think he's maybe got a little bit left in the tank. Number 30. 31, your boy, Justin Fields. 32, Tyler Shuck.
Except Tyler Shuck's not starting.
Well, Spencer Rattler, 32. You could substitute you and I in at 32, dead last. Yeah, I'll still take Fields over whoever they're going to start.
I think you and I have the same last ones. So, so you really think J.J. McCarthy is not it, huh?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to, even the most tried and true Michigan fan can't say he's going to be great. He's in this list because, he's basically Cam Ward. He's a high draft pick that hasn't proven anything in the NFL. So
right.
I would be a huge homer if I put him at 20 or something like that. Now he's got a lot of talent around him, so I'm excited to see that. But yeah, I can't put him above guys that have done it in this league already.
All right, bud. We are an hour in. You want to save the novelty ice cream until next week?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, because I think the top 3 is going to take a little bit of time because, like I said earlier, it's essentially 3 top 3s.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's get into our top. You want to do? Hold on. Let's do trivia first, and then we'll get into our top 3.
All right.
So, trivia, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland, where you can adopt beautiful faces like this one right here. Boom. And boom. And boom. Go adopt a dog from City Dogs. If you cannot adopt, please volunteer, donate, do whatever you can to help out a City Dog. All right, Brad, give me that trivia question one more time.
I'm looking for the leading tackler of your Cleveland Browns franchise since 1999.
Since 1999. Is it a linebacker?
You got it.
Is it DeQuell Jackson?
You got it.
Oh,
I always tell when you got a glimmer, like you kind of try to play dumb, like I don't know. Maybe.
The only thing I can think of was the one year that he balled out for Cleveland, and I felt like he had like 238 tackles the one year, and he was like the leading tackler for Cleveland and the NFL, I thought, and that's the only reason why it came to my head.
Yeah, other guesses were Joe Schobert. I just don't think he was here long enough. Andre Davis, remember him?
Okay, yeah.
He was pretty good. Usually the middle linebackers rack up 54. Andre Davis, yep. Actually, if you remember, there were 2 Andre Davis on the team, and they spelled their names differently. Yeah, the receiver and the linebacker. So I actually had an Andre Davis 54 jersey. I don't know where it went. I'm pretty sure I got rid of it. So yeah, the discrepancy was, if you Google this, it says DeQuell Jackson at 532. But then I got thinking, like, 532, that doesn't seem like a lot. And then I started thinking, Clay Matthews was with the Browns for like a decade. He had to have more tackles than that. So even though Google tells you DeQuell Jackson, I went to like Pro Football Reference or something, one of those websites. It said Clay Matthews had 1,430 tackles.
So shit.
That's why I just did since 99. And then it said Mike Johnson, which I kind of remember a little bit from the 80s, had 974. So whoever you choose to believe, DeQuell Jackson is the leader since 99. You know, those other guys might have something. Maybe they kept stats differently, you know, back in the 80s or 70s or something. I don't know why the discrepancy is so big between those two numbers. But yeah, since 99, it's DeQuell, your boy.
All right. Well, let's do our top 3 and end the show. Next week, we will do Fat Boy Tuesday is ice cream novelties. Now, Brian, hold on. Are you talking like toppings?
No, anything. Well, anything is in, you know, you go to the Blue Bunny little baskets and they have cones there. They have ice cream sandwiches. You got your chocolate chip ice cream sandwich. You got,
you're going that way. Okay.
You got the strawberry shortcake bars, the chocolate eclair bars, you know, or the long freezer pops or something. You know, it could be that simple.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. I can't wait till next week because we got about 8 of those in the freezer right now. We got the Twix.
Yep. Really good.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna need a give me a second filibuster. Let me run real quick.
Okay. Big Bri will be back here in just a second. Please, anybody, if you guys are watching right now, please share us out. Give us some likes. Give us some love. You can always catch us here at Ham Illegal. Also at Network 216, where we got some new stuff coming in. Just announced on Network 216 that the Fantasy Football Pod Squad will be going live on Wednesday at 7 p.m. That is Big Man and Juice will be with him as the first guest. They'll be doing their fantasy football thing. Also, we have the MLB Guards cast with Brian Shaw and Mike Voorhees. Also across the Cavs with Zach Weiss, which Damon Jones just retweeted a happy birthday to him. So please go give us a like and subscribe on all those. Brian is back. Did I fill up
the Damon Jones thing?
So today is his birthday, and Zach Weiss, who we've had on the show, who you've talked to, I believe, always tweets out on X happy birthdays to like former Cavs players, stuff like that. So he tweeted out, said, "Hey, happy birthday to Damon Jones. We love you, blah, 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 blah." Damon Jones liked it, retweeted it, said, much love from across the Cavs and Network 216. Follow both of us. And right now, Zach is talking to him to get him on the Across the Cavs show. And I am trying to get him on the 216 show.
That'd be awesome. I loved him. I was a big fan of Damon Jones.
Everybody was a big fan. Wasn't he the one that threw the soup? Who threw the soup?
J.R. Smith threw the soup at Damon Jones.
Okay. I think Damon Jones had something to do with soup.
You can ask him about it. I don't know. He might get upset.
I'm not going to ask him about that. All right. So let's do our top 3. So we're ranking head coaches, front office, and owners. Okay.
Correct.
How are we going to do this first? You want to do coaches first?
Sure. Let's do coaches first.
All right. Let's go with, all right. So for me, it would be, God, this sucks. I would have to go the Cavs coach first, even though he's only been here for a year.
Wow. Okay.
Kevin.
I mean, none of them have been here very long. No. So
Kevin Stefanski second and Stephen Vogt third.
Okay. Care to elaborate or feel good about those?
The way they are right now, I mean, Kevin Stefanski has given us a coach of the year. Kenny Atkinson, got his name now, has gotten us to the playoffs. And did great with his team. Best regular season team in a while. And Stephen Vogt, so far in his second year, has been kind of meh. So that's kind of how I rank him.
Sure. Fair. Very fair. Yeah, this was probably the toughest one, or the one that I had the most difficulty deciphering the best from the worst, because they've all won Coach of the Years. They've all been to the playoffs. They've all won playoff games or series.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a good problem to have, even though some Cleveland fans would say they're not happy with any of them, which I could listen to and I could hear that. But I had Stefanski 1. I don't feel great about it, just because maybe he's been here the longest, had some success, and I feel like he's widely respected by a lot of people that know football as being a good football coach. So I'll put him 1. As crazy as that sounds, the coach who coming off 3-14 is number 1, but he's 1. I put Atkinson 2. Maybe it's a little recency bias because Vogt has been struggling lately. But I feel like for a while, he took the Cavs to the next step, but then they just stalled out in the playoffs. And it could be because of injuries. I don't know. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, and then Vogt will be 3 for me.
All right. So what's next? You want to do GM or owner?
Yeah, front office. Front office, I just kind of, if you want to do GM, that's fine. I just kind of threw them all together. So front office /
So
GM.
GM for me, Bri, it's hard to not put the Chris Antonetti and the Guardians GMs number 1. They have given us competitive baseball for, God, a decade plus almost. Like even now, we're bitching about the Guardians not making the playoffs, but yet they've still been competitive. Like they're still, hey, we haven't done the dumpster fire that other teams have done, Colorado Rockies, where you only win 40 games. We haven't done that, Bri. We've stayed mediocre all the way through. For them to do that, especially with the budget that they have, give them number 1. Number 2, I have to say it because of the track record. Colby Altman and the Cavs, number 2. And then Andrew Berry and the Browns, number 3.
Yep, we see it very similar. Well said about the Guardians. I think just the fact that they've been a top 10 franchise for countless years, and they've had a bottom 10 payroll. So, I mean, when you can do that, that's pretty impressive. So, yeah, they're pretty easily number 1. And then having trouble between 2 and 3 with the Browns and Cavs. I'm kind of fed up with Colby Altman just kind of sitting around not doing a whole lot. But I put them at 2, and the reason I put them at 2 is because their big all-in move of trading a bunch of guys and draft picks worked out for them and Donovan Mitchell, and the Browns did not with Deshaun Watson. So because of that, I put them at 2 and the Browns at 3.
All right. Last but not least, owners. And Bri, this might shock you a little bit. I'm going to go Haslam's number 1.
Okay.
I'm going to go Gilbert number 2, and then I'm going to go Dolan's number 3. But let me explain why Haslam's are number 1. Bri, even though it has not come to fruition with the moves that have been made by the front office or the huge swings that we have taken and have not got, Bri, at least they're swinging, and they're spending money swinging. All right. They're doing everything and anything that they can. New stadium, new this, new that. Now, granted, it's like this much between them and Dan Gilbert, because Dan Gilbert's done everything for Cleveland. But if I have to go rank the owners the way they are, I have got to go Haslam's number 1 right now, because, Bri, they are, anywhere you turn around, they're trying to make this team better. They really are. Now, granted, they're failing at it. Johnny Manziel, Deshaun Watson, we'll go. There's other things that have happened, but they're trying their hardest to make this Browns organization something special. Now, the Cavs organization has always been something special ever since we drafted LeBron. But the one little mark that I have on Dan Gilbert is, yeah, you probably shouldn't have wrote a letter about the best basketball player in the NBA and saying we're going to win a championship without you, and then had to tell him to come back to win a championship with him. So that's how I rank my owners.
Yeah, honestly, we see it pretty similar. Even though we have the order a little different. I would have been shocked if you had the Dolans as number one. I have him at number 3 with you, just because, again, it's maybe more of a baseball problem than it is a Dolan problem. But, like, hey, if you can't afford to, be top 20 in payroll, then just don't own the team. So that's maybe my issue with the Dolans. I have Gilbert number 1, and I think Gilbert and Haslam are pretty similar in how they run their teams because they just want to win so bad. And Gilbert has kind of taken a bit of a step back over the last few years because of the tragedy with his son, and then his health, hasn't allowed him to maybe be as hands-on or be out in the media like Jimmy Haslam has. But I'm going to put him number 1 because of the hardware, and you could say that's maybe more of a LeBron hardware than a Dan Gilbert. But you need an owner that is going to go to all lengths, spare every expense, and he did that. And we were how many millions of dollars over the salary cap, into the luxury tax, and he just continues to just reach further and further into his pockets to try to get a winner. And Haslam does the same thing. He doesn't get credit for it because it hasn't worked out. But a lot of us believe that he's the reason that Shedeur Sanders is here, because he said, "Hey, there's a chance that this guy can come in and be our savior. So if there's a chance, let's go get him." And you see it with players like Isaiah Bond. He has to sign off on these moves because he's the owner. So at the end of the day, it falls under his umbrella. But so he's just concerned with trying to get the team better, even if it makes him look bad, even if he has to go, into his pockets further and further and give guys guaranteed money. He's done it. And so I just, unfortunately, with the whole the rebate thing with Flying J, that kind of, and the Tom Watson thing, that's kind of been a stain on his reputation. And so I think that's why he doesn't get the respect that maybe he's deserved. And just, I think he's a really good owner. And if we had a Patrick Mahomes, if we drafted Josh Allen instead of Baker Mayfield, we would be singing his praises.
Now, hold on. We can't say that because we can't not guarantee that Josh Allen would be the Josh Allen.
Lamar Jackson. Well, yeah, that's true. Those were the Hugh Jackson days. So
you think that Hugh Jackson gets his hands on Josh Allen and he's going to be
that was probably, well, other than the Johnny Manziel draft pick, that was probably the biggest blemish on his record was bringing Hugh Jackson back, not once but twice after he was god awful. But he let the media write the narrative on him and how he's just not patient enough with his coaches, and he's just a wild man firing everybody who slips up just a little bit. So he was like, "I'm going to give him time. I'm going to give him time. I'm going to give him more time, and I'm going to give him more time," even though Hugh Jackson did not deserve more time.
No, he didn't. And thank God that he kind of pulled the plug on the fax machine for AJ McCarron.
Oh, yeah. Whoever did that, yeah. God's son.
I think he felt it in the ownership box, and he went like this. He goes, "And this is the breaker, and off."
A second and a third for this backup quarterback who hasn't proven anything? Are you kidding me?
All right. Folks,
Wow.
We're here at the end of the show. Like I said, Legal Hand to the Face Fantasy Football Draft is on Thursday at 8 p.m. Bry, let Mark and Nick know. I'll let the rest of the group know on my side. We'll try to do a live show if we can. If we cannot, then it is what it is, and we'll just let everybody know what the drafts were. Bry, we still have not talked about the stadium issues with the height of the stadium, and it's going to affect the airplanes coming in to Cleveland Hopkins Airport per the county and the city. Okay, so I did that, but we'll talk about that later. Next week, we'll do the ice cream novelties because I'm super excited now because, by the way, drumsticks, number one.
Drumstick number one. Wow.
Drumsticks
okay, I don't know if I agree. I'm pretty sure I don't agree.
Drumsticks number one. Find out next week as we dive in more into the ice cream. All right, Bri, we're at the end of the show. Thank you guys for everything. Bri, God bless them.
Yeah, God bless you. God bless America.
All right, we are Legal Ham of the Face. Catch us on all of our socials at Ham Illegal and at Network 216. We want to thank our troops and first responders for everything you guys do. Thank you so much. Also, Harold Keel and Lake Erie, PA, and City Dogs Cleveland for their sponsorships here. This beautiful show that we have tonight. And like we always say at the end of the show, we're definitely uncorked, unloaded. We're out. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a good night.